Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Tsukuba Circuit with the Honda NSX Type R. To access this lap time challenge, go on over to sport mode, so make sure you have menu breaker number 9 completed. Click on online time trials, which is towards the middle of the screen, and you'll see the current lap time challenges being held. And this is the last lap time challenge that is starting in 2024, as it goes on from December 26, 2024 and ends on January 8, 2025. So we're on the sports hard tires. You cannot tune your car, and your goal is to go within the 3% time range of the work time when the event ends, as that is when your lap time gets counted, and hopefully you'll get the 2 million credits. I do have the replay in the description down below if you want to access it in game, but now let's go on over to the lap guide. Now what I like to do is that when I'm setting up for a new lap, I like to go a bit wide on the final turn. That way I can give myself a bit of a better setup for the exit of the turn and get a slightly faster run. So aim for the end of this curb on the right, as that I'm using that as the apex. And I like to shift up to 4th gear right here. That way I'm not shifting up right as I cross the line. But bring yourself towards the left. You're going to brake right when the path on the left ends. You're going to shift down to 3rd gear and use all of your braking power right away. I like to use the wall on the left as my turning point, but you want to be careful, because if you try to turn in while you're still using all of your braking power, your car is not going to turn. So what you want to do is, once you're starting to turn in a bit more, start to ease off of the brakes. That way you're doing a bit of trail braking. Go down to 2nd gear, and you want to carefully ease on the throttle. You basically want to get the car straightened up before you fully accelerate your way out. This car will step out on you if you get on the throttle too early, so you want to be careful about that. Now, just before you hit the apex of this medium right turn, that is where you'll start to brake. Use all of your braking power, and you're going to turn in when the next curb on the right starts. So this curb right here, this is where you start to turn in. Make your way down to 2nd gear, start to turn in, ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, and you'll be able to hug this left curb. Coast for just a moment to let the car turn in a little bit more, and carefully ease on the throttle. That way the car doesn't step out too much. Go up to 3rd gear, bring yourself towards the left, and before the wall on the left changes color, that's where you use 50% braking power and turn in. If you do it just right, you'll get a nice little slide out of the car, and you can gradually get back on the throttle to get a quick exit. This left turn can be taken flat out, but you can also do a little courtesy lift to make sure that the back doesn't step out too much. Bring yourself towards the left and brake right before the green area on the left starts. Use all of your braking power and make your way down to 2nd gear. You can use the tall wall on the left as your turning point, and you want to try to hug these right curves. Let the car coast for just a moment so it can turn in a bit more, and you want to gradually ease on the throttle. Try to get the car straightened up before you fully accelerate your way out. Now you can stay towards the left side of the track. Look for the 50-meter board on the left. So this is right where the new sector starts, and you can use around 75% braking power and slowly start to turn in. And you want to try to maintain your momentum, but also make sure that the car doesn't slide too much. A little easier said than done. You can shift down to 3rd gear, but again, be careful, because this can potentially cause the car to slide, which will cost you a bit of momentum. Use the end of the curb on the right as your apex, so once you reach that point, you want to try to fully accelerate your way out. And if you know you're on a good lap, stay on 3rd gear. But let's go through this again, but this time I will not stop the video. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start from the very beginning, where again, as I'm getting ready to start my new lap, going to go a bit wide, try to give myself a bit of a better exit out of the final corner. and shift it to 4th gear just before I start the new lap. Brake when the path on the left ends, go down to 2nd gear, ease off of the brakes while I'm turning in, so doing a bit of trail braking. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle, as this car does like to step out quite a bit. Brake right about here, go down to 2nd gear, hug this left curb. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle. Brake before the wall on the left changes color. Get the car to do a nice little slide. Nice and careful back on the throttle. You can do a little courtesy lift right here to keep the car in check. Down to 2nd gear, hug the curbs on the right. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle. And go ahead and stay towards the left side of the track. Gonna look for the 50 meter board that is on the left. So this is just as the new sector starts. 75% braking power. Down to 3rd gear. Try to control your slide so you don't lose too much momentum. And nice and careful back on the throttle. And we'll go through this one more time, but this time we're gonna do it for our bumper cam homies. So there we go. Gonna start by going a bit wide on the final turn. That way I can give myself a slightly better run to my new lap. Brake when the path on the left ends. Down to 2nd gear. Ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, because this car will not turn if you're using too much braking power while trying to turn in. Brake right about here. Down to 2nd gear, hug the curbs on the left. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle so the car doesn't step out too much. Brake before the wall on the left changes color. Get the car to do a nice little slide. Carefully get back on the throttle. This corner can be taken flat out, but you can also do a little lift to make sure that the car doesn't step out too much. Down to 2nd gear, hug the curbs on the right. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle. Go up to 3rd gear. You'll eventually go up to 4th gear, and then use the 50 meter board on the left as your braking point. Start to turn in almost right away. Down to 3rd gear. Control your slide so you don't lose too much momentum. Nice and careful getting back on the throttle, and with that, able to get a 102.4. So that's going to be it for this lap guide. And yeah, this is one of those extremely rare times where I can get a lap guide done pretty early, because I'm not working, what's it, like 6-7 hours from now. But yeah, I'm going to go to sleep. It's almost 3 in the morning. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.